Hello, friends. This is Alia Jamal, the Love Coach, and we are meeting for day 11 of our 30-day series on relationship with yourself. And today we are talking about hating yourself. Now, hate is a very strong word. In my vocabulary, I have completely removed it. In my household, we have completely removed it. But the truth is, we all get to a point where we either openly hate ourselves or secretly hate ourselves. So we are going to talk about both of those. What takes us to a place where we start hating ourselves? Because hate is such a strong negative energy that we can keep in our consciousness. What is happening that is causing us to be in that cesspool of energy? Hate, again, always starts within us. It does not start outside of us. If you find yourself saying it, I hate these shoes, I hate this weather, I hate these people, if that is how you speak, then this conversation is definitely for you. Or if you say these things internally in your mind, but then you're not saying it out loud because you don't want to be a complainer or a person that people don't like, you don't want them to see what a hater you are, and you just keep everything inside of you. So when you're on social media, you look at something and you're like, I hate this, but you don't say it out loud because you don't want other people to think that is the kind of person you are. Hate comes from a place when we want it to be a different way. When something happened, we did something, I'm going to stay focused on myself. Let's say if I did something and there is an aspect of me that is saying, why did you do that? Why this is happening? I want it to be different. Hate is going against the force of nature. Everything that I am doing, everything that is happening in my life, it is happening because there's a course of action my soul has decided to go through. My soul is on a journey, it's on a trajectory, and it's not really going to change that just because I'm hating its path. My soul has that path chosen with its own free will, with its own divine free will. It has chosen that path because it knows the transformation it wants to go through so it can become one with its creator. My soul is living multiple lifetimes, it's going through multiple universes to get to that level of wholeness and completion. But right now, I'm here in this human body, going through this human experience. And let's say something happened, a car accident happened, or my shoe break down, or my computer break down. And I say, I hate this. What is happening? There's a flow of energy. And when we don't like that flow of energy, we're like, I can change this. That energy, that pushy energy, coming from our ego, coming from the human arrogance, where we think we know better than the divine forces, that is called hate. That's why it feels like acid. When someone hates you, it feels like it's burning because it is that lower of a vibration, but also it's coming with a negative passion. It's like, I can change it. I'm going to change it. Why did you do it? You shouldn't have done it. It comes from that place. And what it does, it almost tears us apart. Like, here I am, a being of light in this human body, and here an aspect of me come, and it's like, it should be different. It shouldn't be like this. My kid shouldn't act that way. People shouldn't be that way. I hate when people act that way. When I stay engaged in those kind of conversations, most likely I'm thinking a lot about myself that way. I shouldn't have done this. Why am I doing this? I hate when I speak this way. I hate when I do this. All I'm saying at an unconscious level, I know better than the divine forces. I can run my life better than the divine forces. I can manage these people better than the divine forces. I can have a different behavior that divine forces haven't created yet. Usually when we go into this internal hate or rage against ourselves, it's happening when you made a mistake, what we label as mistake. The truth is, let's say you were supposed to take this job and then you didn't. You took this job, and then you got laid off after 6 months. Most likely you're going to say, I hate why I made the wrong choice. I hate why I didn't take the other job. The truth is, you were supposed to, you were meant to take the job where you were going to get laid off. We think life is black and white, right or wrong. The universal truth is everything you do is taking you towards your next best version. There's no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as down. There's no such thing as wrong or right. Everything just is. No matter where you go, you are going to become more and more of your soul. But if you don't think that way, if you are not okay with going with the flow of the divine forces, if you say, I can shift it, I can make the difference, I am going to change it, and it should be this way and not that way, that is when you're going against it. And all we are doing, we are draining our energy. People who engage in a lot of hate, there's this chakra right behind our belly on the other side called Mangman. That is where we hold the resentment and all these beautiful energies. It starts to get heavy. It will contribute to your heart health. It will contribute to your higher low blood pressure. And over time, if not shifted, it can also contribute to creating cancer in your body. That is how the strong energy is. And you might be thinking, but what about Alia? Aren't we supposed to take control of our life? Aren't we creator of our life? Can't we shift who we are? Yes, we can do that. That's why we are in this physical experience. That is why we are here in this physical form, so we can create those shifts. We are master of our own reality if we choose to be. But we can do that from a place of surrender. No one has shifted themselves from a place of hate. I hate my body, so I'm going to change it. Yeah, they'll change it. They'll be back on the same track after a couple of years. But when we accept, let's say I did something, I made a mistake that was just so major, it created a lot of chaos in my life. One way is I can hate myself. The other way is just being compassionate and being like, if I made this mistake, it must be good for me. Maybe there's something I can learn from it. Maybe I can learn how to not be so arrogant about being good all the time and making all the best calculation. Maybe now I can be a little bit more understanding of other people's pain when they make these kind of mistakes. Sometimes we're stuck in perfectionism and we're like, I never make any wrong decisions. That mistake has happened, so I can become the next higher level version of myself. This experience is all about becoming a higher version of yourself, becoming a closer version to your soul, resolving our ego and becoming one with our soul. This whole physical experience is for that. So when I surrender into that, when I surrender, I made a mistake, it must be good for me. Right now, it doesn't seem like it, but it must be good for me. What am I doing? I'm going with the flow of the river. I'm not trying to stop the flow. And I'll go much farther, but I will also add this clause in there, asking ourselves, do I want to be this way again? Do I want to make the same decision again? Because, I saw that I made this decision and it caused me so much agony and pain and hatred within me. Do I want to be that way again? Or do I want to introduce a different way of thinking, processing, giving myself more time, not being so hasty, not being so controlling? That is where we can introduce our free will. That is where we can go from hating ourselves, hating everybody, to accepting ourselves, accepting everybody else. Now, for those of you who are not very familiar with me and my story and my own personal journey, I'll just share a little bit about myself. There was a moment in my life when I was in such a deep depression. I was suicidal. I was going through a lot of emotional turmoil within me. And one day I Googled how to look beautiful because I absolutely hated the way I looked. I hated my face. The thought process was, if my face looked any different, if I looked a little bit more beautiful, the stuff that is happening in my life would not happen. interesting concept, right? But that is where my mind was stuck. And all I wanted to do is look beautiful. So I Googled, Google gave me 10 things to do. I can do makeup, I can do new hair, I can maybe, lose some weight, maybe I can change my hairstyle, dye my hair. It's very interesting how helpful Google can be in those moments. And I said, well, right now I can't really lose weight. My son is really little and I was still breastfeeding. That's not really possible. I am eating so much sugar all the time. Well, I can do makeup. So I went to Sephora, bought a bunch of makeup, watched a bunch of YouTube tutorials, how to make smoky eyes, how to make this, how to make that. And I did that. And I did all that. Even if I had to go to grocery store to just buy some, few items, I would not leave the house unless I have painted my face to a point where you could not recognize me. Where I could see myself in the mirror and I would be like, yes, now you're somebody different, more beautiful. Our mind plays all kind of amazing games with us. I continued that for about 4 months and then I decided to return back to work and I showed up to work. I used to work in a lab and in the lab you can't really wear makeup. I showed up to work one day, my whole face painted, and I was in the bathroom and I was washing my hands and I looked in the mirror and I looked in my eyes and I was like, that's not me. I'm running away from me. I'm hating myself because I have very hard time accepting myself. That was my moment. That was my moment where everything shifted for me. And from that on, I stopped wearing makeup. I stopped buying makeup. I can show up to anywhere looking like this. I can accept who I am. Now I can accept the face that I have. I don't see anything wrong with it. So it was never about how I look. It was about the decision I had made. And I just chose to make different decisions with acceptance, with compassion, and all the hatred that was going here, it dissolved. I surrendered into whatever experiences I had or I was having in life. I was meant to have it. They were good for me. They were for me. And that shift created this fountain of unconditional self-love within me that today, that's what I do. I do it full time. I teach individuals, both men and women of all ages, how to fall in love with themselves at an unconditional level. So I hope my story or this conversation has inspired you. Let me rephrase that. I trust that my story and the conversation we have had today has inspired you to dissolve that hatred within you for yourself and for other people as well. No matter how horrible someone is treating you, no matter how horrible things are happening in the world, it does not justify to go into hatred. We can change ourselves, we can change our surrounding, we can change the world from a place of compassion, acceptance, and love, because that is the energy that connects us to our divine self. A change in our life comes from the divine. It does not come from me physically trying to control and micromanage things. So just look inside of you and find the things that you hate about yourself and start accepting them. Whether it's your body, whether it's your career, whether it's your relationships. Once you accept that, you have the power to create a change. But if you don't accept that, my friend, you're stuck in the bubble of that acidic bubble of hatred, and you're hurting yourself and you're also hurting the whole world because you carry the universe within you. If there's something off within you, it impacts the whole universe. So own up to that responsibility, that how magnificent and how important you are for all of us. And let's bring that love and light within you with the power of acceptance. So that is all for today. If this is something you would love to do, or you would go deeper into your journey within yourself, you can always reach out to me at aliajamalcoaching.com or DM me if you know me through social media. And I would love to be your guide on this beautiful journey of coming home falling in love, and truly accepting who you really are. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.